Welcome, everybody, to episode 61 of The Effing Title. And this week we have the longest running guest on the podcast. That's the only way I can explain it. He's a legend. He's a fucking legend. And that's Fetch.
I am back.
He's
Took
back
a couple
once
week
again.
hiatus, had to get off a little bit, spend time with the fam, but back, ready forever, just ready to get back at this draft stuff. Just ready
Exactly.
for it. Ready for the NFL to start back up.
I was going to say, as we said during the week, I think it was, it's fucking good to be talking about football again.
Facts.
And boy, do we have football for you guys. For the next month straight on the podcast, for the month straight, we're going to have nothing but football. So, for today, we have offensive top 5 for the NFL draft. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down by position. We're going to go top 5 until we get to offensive line. Then we're going to go top 3. Because, and I mean, this may even be you as well, I noticed a huge drop-off. Even after, 1 and 2. It was wild.
Yes.
But we're going to go position by position. We're going to list our top 5 each. And then we're going to just kind of talk about each one, each player, that sort of thing, why we picked them where we were, and like that. Sound good?
Sounds wonderful.
All right, so let's start off with quarterback.
I want to start with quarterbacks.
I was going to say, you start with quarterbacks.
I want you to start with running backs. I just want to see your feel on that first. But I'm going to go different. There's a lot of people out there. Let's put this. First off, I tried so hard, and I'm going to be honest, to find the fault in Trevor Lawrence. I want him to be this year's Joe Burrow for my last year and Rob's last year podcast. I really was. But there is unquestioned that he is the number 1 quarterback in the draft. He is the number 1 he's the number 1 player in the draft.
Yeah.
There's no chance he doesn't get taken number 1 overall. Last year, Chase Young should have gone number 1 overall.
I still believe it.
Trevor Lawrence, no one's overtaking it. Anyway, that's first. We're not going to talk about Trevor Lawrence, but I'm just going to list mine, and then we can talk about these guys after. So actually, number 2, I have a guy that a lot of people are kind of taking down the draft board, but Trey Lance.
Okay.
And then Mac Jones.
Okay.
Justin Fields. And then
wow,
he's a top 5 guy, but I am going to put him in there at number 5 in Zach Wilson.
All right. Wow. So we have the exact same guys, different order. I have Trevor Lawrence. I have Zach Wilson. I have Mac Jones. I have Trey Lance, and then I have Justin Fields. Kind of the way that a lot of people are kind of viewing it as well, I guess, from what I've been seeing.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people there. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
We described it.
Trey Lance at number 2. I like it though. I like it.
Yes, I like it more so because of, and I just want to start this real quick. I think he has, I'm going to say, the best arm out of the ones I named.
Yes.
I think he has the best arm. And I mean, obviously, in the way the game is going nowadays, you have to be able to use your legs. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say he's the best runner out of all of them. I also like the fact that he has had success, and that's why I'm bashing Zach Wilson a little bit and just bumping him down the list, is he's had success consistently throughout his career. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like he just came onto the scene and this is the first year we're talking about. It's not. I mean, Trey Lance has been a name that's like, he's rising up draft boards. How high is he going to go? That's what it is. The negatives, obviously, with him, his conference. I mean, the competition he's played. Yes, I mean, obviously going to North Dakota. I mean, it's
the same. I mean, the way that I have it written is he's a better version. Pardon me. He's a better version of Carson Wentz.
Exactly, and that's the way I look at him. It's just I like him a lot. It's just, is he going to be able to take the next step with the competition? I think he has the skill set to do so. I'm going to go out, and say, Josh Allen. Everyone questioned about him. I'm comparing him. Josh Allen obviously has I'm going to say Josh Allen has a big arm because Josh Allen has the biggest arm.
Yeah, Josh. Yeah, I mean, but as of right now, the only person in the NFL that I would argue could have a big one, and it's just because I'm biased, is going to be Joe. Because Joe can still sling that thing, but
he's not getting a chance anymore.
No, he isn't. He's not getting a chance.
Back surgery, but
true.
I mean, that's just.
But no, I do agree. I do like Trey Lance, and I just fucking thought of this. He needs to go to the right system. He needs to go to a system that's kind of like what he did in college, but can also, there needs to be growth. What if he's the Niners pick at 3?
I would love it.
because it's more.
Love that.
It adds that because we always talk about how
we've been saying this. I mean, we've been saying how Carson Wentz would be a great fit for the Niners.
we've been talking about like I think you, me, and Rob all love the Niners offense. We love the way it plays, but that's also because it's a Shanahan thing. I think we all three of us love the Shanahan offense. Add in a quarterback now that can move off of that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep, I like it. I like Trey Lance going there. I do. And I'm gonna skip ahead real quick because I just want to bash Zach Wilson here a little bit.
Nope, that's fine.
And the reason I'm bashing him is because of the predecessors that I'm going to compare him to, and that is Baker Mayfield, who's still in the league. I'm gonna say he's gonna be out of the league within 4 years here, and then Johnny Manziel.
Yep.
I think honestly he is. I think I've told you this before. He is a complement of those two.
The very first play that I watched of him, the announcer said, and that play reminds you so much of Johnny Manziel. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, that's not what you want to fucking hear.
And that's what I was going to say. And that's not the comparison I want you to have. And now it's the same cockiness out of both of those guys. It's the, and it's now becomes a thing of, does he go on the Johnny Manziel path or does he go on the Baker Mayfield path? Baker Mayfield pissed off a lot of people to get where he's at. And he's a serviceable quarterback. He's Andy Dalton ceiling. I don't think Baker's going to be great. And honestly, I don't like short quarterbacks. I mean, when's the last time? I mean, besides, you can go out Drew Brees all day, but that dude is the most accurate passer, I think, in NFL history now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and when you build around him like they did as well.
Yeah. But I mean, they said, that was Baker's, biggest thing on why everyone said, oh, it was a great pick at number 1. Because he had such great accuracy. Well, Baker Mayfield hasn't translated that accuracy from the college level to the pros. So I don't care. Josh Allen, you could say the same thing, gone the complete opposite way. Horrible completion percentage. You put the guys around him, you run the system you want to run, you build around your guy you have. And that's the problem with, I just don't know.
I agree. I mean,
get him on the edges.
I think that
get him
there's
over there so he can see over his lineman. Great, yeah. Perfect.
I think that
that's why I'm bashing Zach.
I think there's a huge upside, but I agree though. When you have the mix of those two, exactly when you watch him play, it's an immediate mix of those two. And as soon as you see that, it's like I said, it's either that thing of like, which one are you going to get? Are you going to get the Johnny Manziel or are you going to get the Baker Mayfield? And even then, it's like, which Baker fucking Mayfield are you going to get?
Exactly. You're going to get the first year Baker Mayfield, second year, or we can get the third year that just hands the ball off.
Exactly.
It does great on play action. So it's just
Mac Jones, I would say, in my opinion, is the best QB from Alabama since McCarron.
Hey, Jay.
Yep. But the thing that I do have to say, though, is the amount that you hear announcers say, and he's going deep again, and he's going deep again, and he's going deep, and he's going deep, and he's going deep, and he's going deep. It's like, okay, so can this guy only throw deep? I mean, you look at the weapons that he's had, he hasn't had to do much of anything else, really. But
that's the problem with a lot of the Bama guys in general, is the team is so stacked in college. You're so heads and shoulders above everyone else at the college level. When you go to the pros, you're not there. Yeah, I mean, you're a lot of times you're going to be put on a bad team in that case, and it's going to come down to, are you actually a good player or not? I mean, that's you're going to be in, obviously, across the NFL. I don't care if you're the won the Super Bowl in Tampa or if you're the New York Jets or Jacksonville, I guess in this case, because somehow they squeaked out the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
But there's honestly not that much difference in the teams. You know what I mean? Like it's just. It really isn't, and people can argue that. I mean, yeah, obviously the Jets, Jaguars didn't have a chance to win the Super Bowl last year, but they were competitive throughout the year. I mean, It's just, they had slip-ups here and there, but how many times have the Jets took down, Seattle. Jaguars had close games with Green Bay and, the Vikings.
Yeah, with a ton of them.
Playoff contenders right down the stretch. So it's just, and that's the difference when you go there. The thing I do like about Mac Jones is his ability against the blitz. And I feel like, I mean, I didn't watch a ton of Bama games this year. I'm not going to lie to you, but against the blitz is huge especially for Bama, because I feel like they get blitzed a lot because they're trying to disrupt that offense.
Yeah,
and that's the way to beat Bama.
You can't compete with their. Yep, you can't compete with their weapons, so you have to.
Sit back and compete with them. You have to get tricky. You have to go at him. You have to, you know what I mean? So, and that's that's a good thing for him. That's good to get that pressure, good to get that experience, and that's why I think he's going to be a decent quarterback in the NFL. Yeah. He's going to be serviceable.
In my opinion, out of all of them, the worst one I think is Justin Fields, because and I'm going to say it right now. When was the last time there was a good quarterback out of Ohio State?
Troy Smith.
And that's it. Troy Smith. Think about what he did. Other than that, the best quarterbacks that have come out have produced as wide receivers.
Joe Burrows.
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on now. I mean, like, that doesn't really count. No, but think about it. The best ones have turned to wide receivers. Braxton Miller.
Yeah, you got
fucking Terrell Pryor. Like,
yep.
I don't see it. I don't trust it. It's that simple. I just don't trust it at this point.
And I've talked to you about this. I mean, we obviously agreed Mac Jones has the best offense out there. He's playing around. Justin Fields arguably has the second best offensive weapons that he's playing around in the NCAA. Like, that's. But the thing I do like about Justin Fields is he is an accurate quarterback. He's proven that at the college level. He is accurate. But the thing I don't like is he holds the ball way too long. And when you hold the ball way too long at the college level, you depend on your legs too much to get away, and you're not going to be able to do that at the NFL level.
Exactly.
That's the problem. If you hold the ball at the NFL level, you're dead. You're toast. Like, and that's a hard thing to teach someone. I mean, obviously you can see, we've talked about you teach accuracy. Not normally, but you have been able to, based off of routes, based off of scheme, everything. But you can't teach someone 1, 2, oh wait, someone got feeling pressure over here, gotta get rid of the ball.
Exactly.
Gotta get it's just something it's wired into your brain. You've done it your whole life, and it's hard to get out of that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I have Zach Wilson number 5. He's still a top 5 quarterback. I mean, there's a little joking around there, but Justin Fields and Zach Wilson are kind of my low totem guys in this top 5 group.
I mean,
and like I said, we have no reason to talk about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean, we said literally right before we got on, we even said Trevor Lawrence is at a completely different fucking level than all the rest of these guys, and it's drastically noticeable. So I mean, it's one of those things where as soon as you get past him, it's like, okay, like
it's not even close.
Running backs, though. Here we go. Okay, running backs.
I want to hear what you got.
Right?
Let's go.
Number 1's Najee Harris. Easy.
Okay.
Number 2 is Travis Etienne. Number 3 is Ramondre Stevenson from Oklahoma. And then I have a tie at 4 and 5 with the UNC boys of Javonte Williams and Michael Carter.
Interesting. Okay. So I actually have Travis, number 1. Javonte Williams, number 2.
Oh, okay.
Harris, number 3.
Okay.
Michael Carter, number 4. And then I have your boy from Oklahoma at number 5.
Yeah.
So again, same guys.
Different order. Yep.
Yeah. So let's see what we got. Why?
So Najee Harris is like, he's kind of like, he feels like he's like, Bama has the typical back, right? Big, strong, powerful back. The difference with Najee Harris, though, is he's a little bit shifty and he can catch the fucking ball, which is a little bit of an anomaly for an Alabama running back. So to me, that kind of makes it a little bit more dangerous than like a Derrick Henry, Najee Harris. Najee Harris is a little bit more dangerous because he can do a little bit more. That was my thing with it. I liked watching him play. He looked aggressive. He looked like, he looked like an Alabama back. But, like, it was weird because suddenly you're seeing the Alabama colors, the running back, he's running with it, and now he's hurdling people. And it's like, no, that you truck that guy. That's what we've been told. Like, that's what you do. You truck him. You don't hurdle him. So that's why I went Najee with 1. I thought that overall he's the stereotypical best back, but he has a little bit of extra tools, which felt weird. And the Travis Etienne, Travis Etienne, this is one of those ones where it's like 1A, 1B, almost for me.
Yeah.
Because when you watch him run, he's running with purpose. He's moving forward. It's not a whole lot of, like, I'm like, trying to find the hole. I'm shifty. I'm doing this. No, he's going. He's hitting it. And, he always, like, and another thing I thought was really kind of cool is it always looked like he was ready for a move. He always looked like he was ready. Guy, getting into the hole, you see a lot of guys get in the hole, and it's like, oh, they start breaking it down, and then suddenly a guy's there, and then he jukes him. No, Etienne was like running directly at guys and then making the move immediately as the guy like broke down. And it was kind of scary watching it because it's like this dude is already preparing to move before it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree.
And he's fast.
Real quick. I just want to talk about those real quick. So, like I said, I have Travis number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that's strictly based off his home run ability.
Yeah.
Another guy played for Clemson as well. I don't even know when it was. Drafted by the Bills.
Mm.
CJ Spiller.
Yeah.
Home run talent. Amazing home run talent. Okay. Problem. I mean, he was able to transfer it. Didn't have the size. Didn't have the grit that I think Travis has. So I think that's the thing is like Travis is able to do it all. He's able to come out of the backfield. He's able to hit the holes hard. Mm-hmm. The problem is that I have with him. I'm still keeping him number 1 out of all this. Mm-hmm. Problem I have with him is the same problem a lot of people. I didn't think so, but a lot of people had with a gentleman named Saquon Barkley. And that was the thing that he was trying to hit the home run every time. Yeah. Instead of, in the NFL, sometimes you got to take those 2, 3, 4 yards because the home run's not there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because someone on the defense was an absolute freak on the play and took away that option. So that's the thing where I think he needs to improve is he needs to just sometimes stick. He can. Obviously we know he can stick his foot in the ground and just get upfield. Just get it, take the yards you can, and get there. Absolutely love him. Harris, like I said, I'm knocking down to number 3 just because I think Javonte Williams is a phenomenal talent coming out of the backfield, and a lot of people don't realize. He's essentially Najee Harris. I playing in a weaker schedule, playing in for North Carolina, but his broken tackles. He set the record last year for broken tackles per attempt in a season. So that's absolutely amazing. Yes, he obviously on the smaller side. I think 5'10", 220. So he's losing a couple inches to Harris. But the thing is, he wasn't featured as a pass catching back like Harris had the ability to do because he had his counterpart, Michael Carter.
Michael Carter.
Taking away those carries, but he can catch the ball out of the backfield, which is why I put him up there. Because I think he's going to be a phenomenal steal from this draft because of that ability.
True.
And Harris, honestly, I don't have anything else to add on what you had for Harris. Great talent, come from Bama, love it. Better version of Derrick Henry at the college level. I want to see him put it into the pro level. I just feel like he's a big body, so hopefully he can handle it. But I want to see if he can. He's getting a lot of touches. At his time at Bama.
Yeah.
I don't like that coming out of college, but Jonathan Taylor did phenomenal with last year after coming out of college with 7,000 carries. So I think he can, I'm rooting for him. I like him a lot. But all right, so go ahead. Go ahead to your next one.
Ramondre Stevenson, the guy from Oklahoma. Big, strong back. Like he almost feels like how like recently we were talking about like the old backs like Larry Johnson, Clinton Porter, Steven Jackson, like the old power backs. He almost feels like a rebirth of that when I was watching him play because he's just tough to bring down, and it's one of those things where like you watch Eddie and he's trying to make a juke, he's trying to juke someone to spin out of it. You watch Harris, he's trying to hurdle him or get out of it. You watch even Carter or Williams, right? They're either trying to run away from someone or they're trying to juke. Stevenson is move. He's just going. It's like okay, I gotta hit B. Yeah, I gotta hit the B. I'm hitting B. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're in my way. I'm hitting B, and then I'm going to just go forward from there. And I like the old like those sort of power backs. I don't think you see a whole lot. And with him, it looks like it was a power back that had some speed to it. But like, if he's breaking tackles against the teams that he is, and it's like it wasn't like the easy kind of like, oh, I'm going to juke this guy out. It's like, no, this dude's like fully wrapping me up, and I'm not going down. I'm just going to pump my legs and just keep going. I love that. And the reason why I have him above the UNC boys is it's weird to me that 2 UNC backs are in the top 5 in 1 year. That's weird to me. Not just because it's UNC,
come on,
but because it's from one team. That's my thing.
That is
it's weird to me because when you watch them as well, they're both very similar. Williams looks like he's a little bit more powerful, like of a power back, and Carter looks like he's a little bit more elusive. Both of their visions is incredible, by the way. I'm not going to take that away from either one of them. Their vision on the field is nuts. Seeing some of the like cuts that they were making and the holes they were hitting, like I was impressed watching it. But it's just there's something weird about that like I said, that there's two backs from the same team in the top 5 discussion of a position. Because it's not like a wide receiver where there's always 2 on the field. These guys were coming in and off the field as it goes. So I don't know, man. It was like watching them, watching Williams, and then watching Carter. It felt like I was watching the same fucking person. Just suddenly the speed increased, and there wasn't much of running people over.
Yeah. See, I would say Carter reminds me a little bit of Clyde Edwards-Helaire from last year. Reminds me a little bit of Tariq Cohen. It's just that's, I don't know. He's, like I said, I still put him up there as my top, in my top 5. But he doesn't have quite that explosiveness that I think Travis has up top. So that's kind of why I put him down low. But it's like you said, it's crazy. It's crazy to have the top guys. But it's and the way I look at it is there's not many number 1 backs in the NFL anymore.
Exactly.
There's not
We've talked about that.
Guy. There's not, and yeah, exactly. That's so it's just that's the way to look at it. And there's a lot of college teams that are starting to adapt that way, which is good for the longevity of these guys' NFL careers. So I don't mind that at all. But I mean, the Bears were a perfect example of it.
Oh yeah, when they had Howard and Cohen,
with Howard and with Cohen, that was a great combination, and then they got away from it. And they also lost like 14 of their tight ends, but that's besides the point. Because the Bears are going to bear. But anyway, yeah. So it's
Bears
just
are going to bear.
Exactly. They're just gonna bear it up. But no, and honestly, I'm hoping ETN becomes a Bill, but that's besides the point.
Fair enough.
So,
all right, wide receivers, Jeff, take it away. Wide receivers, top 5.
I feel like this is gonna be a fun one.
I was gonna say, I feel like this is gonna be another one that's gonna be very similar.
It should be, right?
It should. I think there's gonna be one that will be off. I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, do you think? I'm gonna put Kyle Pitts as a receiver now.
I mean,
practically.
The very first thing that I've written down for Kyle Pitts is might as well be a wide receiver. So I mean. But go on. Sorry.
Yes. So I mean, I think we both agreed with this, and we were actually having a talk with Rob about this, and he's not going to agree with us. But Jamar Chase is the number 1 receiver. And we're actually going to go Waddle at number 2.
Oh, okay.
And then the Heisman Trophy winner in Devonta Smith.
I like the Heisman Smith better.
Heisman Smith, I like it better too. I like it. Then I'm actually going Elijah Moore from Ole Miss.
Oh, okay.
And then this last one, I'm kind of on the edge for. I like the dude from Florida and Kadarius Toney.
Okay.
Toney. But also it's just based off of going again. I'm gonna go on and put Rashad Bateman from Minnesota at number 5. But I like the gentleman from Florida though too.
All right, so like I said, it's very similar. I have Jamar Chase at 1, but then I have Heisman Smith at 2. I have Waddle at 3. I have Rashad Bateman at 4, but I have Rondell Moore from Purdue at number 5.
I was it. Okay, yep, that was another one I was. Okay. All right.
So yeah, Jamar Chase, I feel like it's an easy. Once you start looking at the film of him, like he's a good route runner. He's going up for the ball. When Burrows was the Heisman, he was he was like maybe better than Jefferson. Honestly,
I was gonna say, and that's the thing. He had a better year in that year than Jefferson did.
Yeah, like it's just
you know what I mean.
Like
so I think he had almost 1,800 yards. I want to say I think he actually hit 20 touchdowns the year that he had.
The year they went
Justin
to the championship,
and so I mean it's just I don't know, man. And I mean he was playing that 19 at 19, dude.
Mm-hmm. That's
and my big thing is like you said with the contested catch in the NFL, that is huge. Being able to go up where the receivers, the cornerbacks are bigger, longer, faster, and that is my issue with bumping down Heisman Smith.
Okay.
It just I don't know how he's gonna do. He's a great route runner,
Yes.
great ability to. Sorry guys, my alarm.
Jeff has
Sorry.
to. Jeff has to try to get an Eddie Lacy card right now. What
Yeah,
upset?
Eddie Lacy's trying to come home, but
Yeah.
anyway, so Devonta Smith though, I mean that's my issue with him. I mean he's just you can even see him out there. I mean it's just his health ability to stay healthy. He's gonna be able to handle the hits at the next level.
I think that
that's my
everyone,
he's 180 pounds. Is that what he is?
Yeah, something like that. I saw the number and I was like, okay. I think that he's best route runner out of the whole class.
Oh, for sure, and that is going to help him out. But it's on that closing speed that it's just I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's my problem with that was my thing with Waddle is that like Waddle is the stereotypical Alabama home run wide receiver. Just he's not 5'9" and 140. Like he's actually
exactly.
a bigger receiver. Like I think actually when I looked at it, I think he's 5'10". So I mean it's like but fast. Waddle. Yeah, Waddle. Fast, and he's a special teamer. So already that kind of bumps him up, it adds a little bit to it. I just my thing is like I liked Smith more just watching the stuff. I mean, it's just it's the preference thing, I'm not a huge home run fucking guy. I just which is why I liked Rashard Bateman. Rashard Bateman was just big bodied, great hands. The route running looks okay. But I mean, it's one of those things where, like, at one point I was started to write, like, will he be able to do this against better competition? And then immediately as I was writing that, I look up, and then he's up against Penn State, Wisconsin, and Ohio State, and I'm like,
the
removing that,
good.
like, at that point, it's like, okay,
yeah.
now I got to get rid of that. But, I mean, and that's the thing is, like, when I say big bodied, he's not even the biggest bodied guy in this draft. I mean, he's I think he's 6 foot, he might be 190, something like that, but he plays big. That was the thing. Like he's going for the ball. He has great hands, and it's not one of those things where it's like you see some guys catching with the body. He's catching the ball with his hands and bringing it to himself.
Yeah. I was the thing I like him, and I'm gonna make a bad comparison because this guy was an absolute flop in the NFL, but his ability to create separation is what separates him. It's that quickness off the line, quickness to get away from his guy. He's not actually exceptional talent or athlete, but he's a smart football player, and his route running and ability to be quick in and out of breaks is what is great. But the thing is, he also I want to say he led. Don't quote me on this, but I want to say he led the country in yards per route, I want to say, his sophomore year. So it's like from the outside. So it's he can run from the outside. I do see him more of an inside guy, kind of like a Jarvis Landry, not as explosive as Jarvis Landry, as athletic as Jarvis Landry. But I do compare him a little bit to Laquan Treadwell, which scares the crap out of me. Just because I like. But I'm gonna go back on double down on this. I like Laquan Treadwell still a lot coming out of college. Doesn't matter that he didn't produce NFL. I still like him a lot coming out of college, and I'll still go back there and put on.
So I'm let me talk my 5 real quick. Then you can talk your one. So Rondale Moore, I liked Rondale Moore from Purdue because he's a little man, but like with some little guys, and because I've talked about this with Hollywood Brown, they like to either catch with their arms or they bring it into their body first. Watching Rondale Moore, he's catching everything with his hands. And it was beautiful watching it because, like I said, little guy, kind of, the stereotypical slot guy. The only difference was, though, is that, and one of the things the announcer was like, this guy squats 600 pounds, and I see him bulldoze over 3 safeties or 2 safeties on a play, and I'm like, oh, this dude ain't fucking around.
Does he have like a 40-inch vert, too?
Probably, something like that. I'm just watching him, I'm sitting there, I'm like, someone's going to get this guy, and they're going to just get this little stud that's just not going to go down.
Yeah, a little choo-choo train.
Yeah, I like it. Trade fucking Hollywood Brown and let's get him.
Yeah, it's great as long as you can do it. But so then difference obviously was him, and then I had Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. I like him just as the ability for the slot position. Slot has become a lot more important in the NFL. Tom Brady kind of made it famous with all of his slot players, but it's a huge position, and just being able to come open and make tough catches, contested catches is huge. And Moore had one of the best contested tough catch rates in the NCAA last year, which is awesome.
Okay.
And that's gonna be good for any young quarterback, any old quarterback that likes to use a slot. But I mean, I'm just gonna go back to Josh Allen here. Cole Beasley, huge asset to the team. Absolutely huge asset. Need that, especially when you don't have that, next level tight end that can be your kind of safety valve. You need that slot position. That's where I see him fitting in, and I think he's gonna be a huge get this year for someone. So
makes sense. Tight ends. So to start this off,
I'm just gonna go real quick here. I'm only gonna talk about one.
I don't blame you.
That's because he's really the only one. Actually, I'm gonna talk about two because the other ones. But there's one, and this is
I'm gonna hit on them.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna hit on the rest of them. Yeah, the
gap between 1, 2 is bigger, and we already talked about how big it is between Trevor Lawrence and the next guy. It's bigger than that.
Yeah, it's bigger. This is one of those things where we're getting a top 5 pick, and then the next guy may not go into the third. So for me, I got Kyle Pitts at 1. I got Pat Freiermuth from Penn State at 2. Brevin Jordan from the U at 3. Tommy Tremble from Notre Dame at 4, and then Hunter Long from Boston College at 5.
Long from Boston College. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yep. That's what I got. Perfect.
Yep. Kyle Pitts is the best fucking tight end in this class. He might as well be a wide receiver. He is if I remember correctly from looking at it, isn't he basically fucking Calvin Johnson size?
Yes. The only difference is he's doing it as a young bucket, 20?
Yeah,
20?
It's 20. So I mean, it's one of those things. He's going to go to a team. He's going to be used more as a receiving tight end than a pass blocking tight end or a run blocking. I mean, or pass blocking for some idiot reason. But I mean, he's going to be running routes more. He's going to be in the slot. He's almost going to be more of a Ingram type.
Yeah. The thing is, he was lining up, and it's good for him to get that that skill set in there because he's going to be going against some pretty good safeties, and that's what you're going to have to be putting onto him. You're not going to be sticking a linebacker on this guy.
Nope.
But he was lining up a receiver going against some of these top-notch corners, and that's the big thing. That's huge, to be able to go against some of these corners. I didn't particularly like his route running in some situations.
Oh no!
I think he can. I think it's coming back to the big guy in him, tight end, a little blocky at times. But I mean, he's not going to be a George Kittle type guy where he can pound you in the run game though too. He's going to be more at a Vernon Davis is just going to beat the shit out of you deep, and you're having to come close. But I mean, he's got a nice skill set as far as ball, finding the ball in the air. He's going to go up and get it. There's some times where I thought he got away with a couple push-offs last year, but we're gonna, whatever. But the thing is, his catch radius is huge.
Yeah.
Reliable hands. When he gets his hands on the ball, 9 times out of 10, he's coming down with it. And just, I mean, obviously, his sudden quickness out of breaks and just being able to get vertical on guys. I mean, he can run with the best of them. Obviously, you saw that with his 40 time. And that's not a fluke. He's running that.
And also, I mean, it's one of those things as well. If you think, really, I mean, in teaching route running and catching versus teaching run blocking, it's easier to teach someone to run block than anything, than the other two.
Oh, I agree.
So it's going to be, I mean, especially if you put them in a team where it's crack blocks, coming down on people, double teaming, a lot of stuff like that. It will make it easier for him as well, and you can still get the production out of him lining up as a tight end.
Speaking of which, this is the last gentleman I'm talking about. He is my number 2 guy, and then I have the rest of them in the regular order. You just kind of put them in.
Okay.
And this guy better go to the frickin' Ravens because he's going to murder someone. Tommy Tremble from Notre Dame. I want to see him go to Ravens, and I want to see him line up as a fullback, H-back. I don't even fucking care. This guy is a vicious run blocker. He would be phenomenal in that offense.
As soon as I started watching it, and I heard the very first play was and Trace McSorley gets the ball immediately. I was like, interesting.
Dude, he just fucking lighting people up. Disregard, disregard for his body, just leveling.
This is the old school run blocking tight end that is just going to go out there and be like, so you telling me that you just want me to run down the line of scrimmage and crack that D end that doesn't know I'm coming?
Yes.
Awesome. gotcha, I'll do it. And he was. That was the best part. Is like he wasn't going down the line and missing these blocks. He was fucking murdering people on these blocks. And he did it all season from different positions. And he has good hands. It's one of those things. I really like him. I had him down there lower because, and I'll explain why here in a minute. I had him down there lower, but like I love the kid. I would love him to go to Baltimore because he's the perfect mix between Mark Andrews and Nick Boyle.
Yeah, and I put him up there just for that purpose. I don't think. I mean, I think the dude from Penn State, the
Baby Gronk,
or whatever his name is, is he's going to get drafted ahead of him. So I can see.
So these are my things.
But
these are my things.
I think you guys can get value at it.
Oh yeah, of course.
I still think that's a great position for you guys to go at later in the draft.
Firmworth from Penn State, Baby Gronk. He literally looks and plays like Baby Gronk, a little bit more athletic. And the weird thing is that they were having him line up wide and having him run like fade routes.
Okay. I did not see any of that. Yeah,
they had him run like, and I'm like sitting there watching this, and I'm like, that's kind of a little bit nasty.
Awesome.
That he's up against like a freaking corner, and he just ran a fade route and won that. So like that's why I'm at number 2 is because someone's gonna see that he's like Gronk and be like, someone's gonna pull the trigger simply just for that. Brevlin Jordan is literally the spread style tight end. He's the guy just like Pitts, but he's not at the same level of Pitts. He's used more like a big wide receiver. That's all I could see when I was watching him. He didn't have the greatest of stats. He only had like 37 catches, like maybe 500, 700 yards, so maybe 7 touchdowns. So it wasn't the best of stats, but when you watch him play, he literally just looks like that big tight end receiver, like receiving tight end or a big wide receiver that just kind of bullies his way around a little bit, but isn't going to get all the touches. And then Hunter Long he's that guy where he's almost like Travis Kelce. And I mean that in the worst aspect. The fact where he just runs a 10-yard curl and they throw him the ball, he catches it and goes straight down. Like, I don't think I saw this guy get any yak at all.
No, that's
every one of his catches was catch and then it was down, or it was like a contested catch as he's going down. But that was the thing, though, is like every single time the ball went to him, it was like no question. Like, he's getting the ball, he's coming down with it. But yeah. So,
which is nice. I mean, you want to see that sure-handedness. I mean, that's
exactly. He's going to be one of those. He's going to be one of those. He's going to be one of those late-round guys who goes to a team and he's going to be a solid number 2 or 3, where he's going to come in and they're going to run like little like block and then release routes and he catches it off of it. And that's what you're going to see from him. He's going to get have a decent career run in that. But all right, offensive tackle though, Jeff, hit it off. Offensive tackle. So for our offensive line, we're going top 3s. Okay, we're going top 3s for offensive for the O lines because I'm going to say this right now. It was a little bit insulting to me that it's like I look at one and they just did O line. I look at another and they just did O line and then interior O line, and I could not find one that fully separated all 3 out.
Well, they really don't anymore. And that's kind of how it's been.
It's lazy to me, but so we're gonna do it just like they do because fuck it.
I was gonna say people don't want to go through that, and I mean a lot of it, interior. I mean, I think we were talking about as far as playing, garden center. A lot of people think you can switch it around, but obviously number 1 here, tackle. Let's go. Is obviously the Mighty Duck, Penei Sewell and da-da-do. So he's obviously number 1. I am going to go with, and there's a little talk here, but I'm going to go with Slater from Northwestern.
Thank God.
And why? Why?
We'll get to it in a minute. I want to hear your third.
Okay. Then the gentleman from Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Okay.
Christian Darrisaw.
I have it the exact same way. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was talking about switching those 2. I really was, and then I went back and forth. And
you watch the play of Sewell and Slater, and Sewell is easily the better lineman. Easily.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I mean,
he's more athletic. He's I wouldn't say he's more athletic because I do think Slater is very athletic, but he's more violent. He finishes. His pass pro is unmatched.
Yeah. My thing that I love about Slater though is his pass sets are absolutely freaking
Oh yeah,
phenomenal, and his feet are
his
easily
that's
the best in the draft.
that's what I was gonna
And
say.
that's
Is
what
that
puts him up there,
his
honestly, ahead of
feet
the other one.
his
It's just
feet is unreal. The question with me with Sewell is his mouth. Is his mouth gonna be a fucking problem? Because and we've seen OB from Indianapolis, the one that you like, young kid, Darius Leonard. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? I thought we were talking about. I'm like,
Well,
what?
he's recently come out and he's told and he's
Yeah.
stated that a lot of these guys need to just shut their mouths and just let the film and like their pro days and all that just like show what they're doing. And Sewell's one of those big ones that's been running his mouth saying like, "Hey, I am the best tackle in the draft." Like it's not even a fucking question. Like like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do I think he is? Yes, I do. Is him running his mouth going to be a problem though? It might be. But at the same time, though, you don't see a lot of teams where the lineman is the fucking mouth of the team.
Yep.
And this is a guy where he's the mouth of the team, and I like that. Slater, yeah, Slater is highly athletic. I think that he could even be a guard. I think he's versatile enough to play guard. And Christian Darris, oh my god. This. He just looked lazy at points, man. Like he'll like start blocking someone as soon as they get off of him, he just stops. He just stops playing. He's like I think he's 6'4". I think he's like 300, but he plays like he's 6'8" and he's fucking 350. Like he plays bigger than he is, and that's not a good thing at offensive line. I didn't like what I was seeing from Darisaw, but the problem is that after Darisaw, it's not a whole like.
Yeah. So the thing I liked with Darisaw though was that quick initial pop. There was times where he's coming through with his hands. He's fucking giving you a pop, and he could even give at times when he's playing. If you can keep him motivated and play every down start to finish. I think he could give Sewell a run for his money, honestly. He's a physical player when he wants to be. It's a matter of getting it every play, and like you said, and like you mentioned, continuing it throughout the play, not just hitting and coming off and okay, play's over. No, it's not over because this guy just broke a tackle back here and he's running. No, you got to keep it going.
Yeah, there was a lot of times when he would start, like I said, he would start blocking. The guy would go off the block, and then he would turn, and the running back's like running at him, and he's still like, it's not like a oh shit sort of moment, and you go and try to block someone. He literally would just like look at him and be like, "Sup, bro." Like I'm done
honestly,
talking for right now.
If someone can get him right, in the right state of mind, and not do like the dude that just got cut from
Isaiah
all these
Wilson
teams in the offseason. Oh, there you go, Isaiah Wilson. I could see, and that's the problem is I could see him being the best tackle in this draft. And I could see him pulling an Isaiah Wilson. So obviously, for his sake, I hope he's the best tackle in the draft. It's awesome. That'd be great. And it's just he has the ability to be.
No, my luck, he's gonna fucking go to Baltimore.
And then request to be traded like your boy Orlando.
Yeah. God, that's a whole.
That's about all I gotta say about that.
Yep. All right, so now interior offensive line. So we originally I had it set up so we were going to do guard and center, but then we thought, fuck it, we're just going to do interior offensive line because that's what everybody's fucking doing. So we're doing an interior offensive line. So my 3 for interior offensive line is actually kind of interesting because I almost switched this up multiple times. I got Landon Dickerson from Alabama.
Yeah, unquestioned.
Elijah Vera Tucker from USC, which that was a weird one because some people had him as a tackle.
That is a weird one.
And then Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma at center. So mine's 2 centers and then guard tackle.
So I actually had I think Landon's the best interior lineman coming out. The question is going to be how he responds to his ACL.
Yes.
Because it was.
That's
I want to say it was the same one he tore. Wasn't it the same one he tore originally though? So I mean, obviously
I want to say it is, but I mean,
I know he's come back from. I just don't remember if it was the same knee this time or if it was a different one. But either way, he's come back from it once, made a great comeback. Great, I love it. I would love to see it come back again. Just hate to see it in offensive line position because it's such a hard spot to do it.
Yeah, it's a tough one to come back from, especially at center. Like
lineman, lineman in general is just it's tough. But I love his first down tenacity. We're gonna go with that.
But
anyway, so I have your boy from Oklahoma at number 2, but I'm throwing this guy on there because I want him to be great, and he's lit up some stuff, Senior Bowls, and Wisconsin Whitewater.
Yeah.
Quinn Miners.
Yeah.
I want him to be there.
I was gonna, you know what? No matter what, Jeff, I was gonna bring him up. No matter what,
yeah,
because
I want him in there. I don't know if he
fucking,
is, but I want him in there.
he's a fucking stud. He like just watch the pro day. If you guys haven't seen it, Quinn. Yeah, I can't even freaking. Let me see here real quick.
I have no idea.
Quinn Mienes. Meanders. If you just watch his pro day was fucking unreal. He's just out there tooling on a bunch of D1 prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Just having his way with all of them, and he's a D3 guy. Like, it was beautiful. Like, the negatives just right here, it says top heavy, not overly effective in motion, not a true zone blocking lineman. Out of all those, the only one that's negative is the first one. Like, he's a center. He doesn't need to be in motion. Like, not a true zone blocking lineman. Cool. So don't put him in a zone blocking scheme. Done. No, I would argue that Landon Dixon is one of the best centers we've had in years, if he's healthy. Because that's my immediate question: is he fully recovered?
Dude, the dude from wasn't it Price from Ohio State I loved him coming out of college. What did he get hurt at? Was it his pro day or was it the combine where he tore his pec? And he honestly just did not recover well after that.
He did not.
And he's been, he's kind of been bouncing from there to there. But no, I agree. He's definitely the number one there guy. But
Elijah Vera.
We got number two. What were you saying?
I had Elijah Vera Tucker at number 2. So a lot of things that I saw him at tackle and also saw him at guard. This is my thing. Interior pass blocking wise, he does a really good job of using his hands. Like, as soon as he latches on, it's over. Like, that's it. When I watched the film of him playing tackle, he was constantly getting beat and struggling in open space. So immediately when I saw that, the first thing I thought is that if someone does take this guy, they're going to put him at guard. Like, it's like not a question. He's a guard unless the team really needs a tackle. And then even then, like, I would highly suggest not fucking doing that. And then Creed Humphrey was just athletic, mobile, able to reach 2 techs. He's pulling from the center position. Like, those are impressive fucking things to do. He may be the most athletic. I mean, I can't say that because his athleticism is on the same par as Slater and Sewell, in my opinion. And he's from a center position. He's snapping the ball first and then doing it.
And which I just want to touch on that real quick. From the center, he has one of the best hand positions I've ever seen coming from a center. Being able to get your hands in the right position for a block is one of the, obviously feet come through, whatever, but it's one of the most beneficial things you can have. Getting them in the right position so you can move them to where you want them to go. And he is, when he gets you on where he is, and he's usually pretty hands-on with getting it where he wants to go, it's over. It's over already. Like, it's crazy, and that's what I love about him. Love it. But the problem is that he has a problem sometimes with getting low. With some typically nose tackles when lining up across from him, and gets walked back in the pocket sometimes pretty easily. So they definitely have to work on repositioning the hands. When he gets his initial hands there, they're good. Repositioning, whole new ball game, as you know. That's the big thing. That's where you win. Reset, get it in, and go. You know what I mean? That's what he's got to be able to do.
I think that he's going to fit in well with a team that line is more of a mobile line than the line that's just going to move forward. If he goes to a team that's a line that moves forward, they're going to find very quickly that he can't do what they want him to do.
Yeah, I agree, and I think he's going to be better to switch to guard. Whether he likes it or not, I think he's going to be better suited for guard. Just because when you get some of these big nose tackles lining up across from you, and you get your quarterback and walk back into your face, you're not going to like it very much. So if that happens on a consistent basis, you got to get some angles on some of these guys. There's not typically a lot of, stud nose tackles that are going to, beat you necessarily. They're going to push you back. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
They're going to walk you back, and that's what you can't have. So
I will say this, one of the last things I do want to say, because I forgot to mention earlier, Rashawn Slater, when he went up against Chase Young, beat Chase Young a lot of those times.
Oh, okay.
If you go and watch that film, it's fucking impressive. Like Rashawn Slater gets the majority of the wins in that fight, and I saw that. And I'm like,
that's the big thing with him too. The D-line competition that he's going against in the Big Ten is huge.
Yeah,
huge. He's gone against some of the greats there, so which is awesome. Good experience going to the NFL. So, yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah. But so that's what we got for the top 5 offensive positional rankings in the NFL Draft 2021. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think of our picks and what picks you guys also had. Fedge, anything else you got to say?
No, like I said at the beginning, happy football is starting to come back. These NFL players think they have it tough. No, we're the ones that have it tough. We're covering this draft, and from again, what do we have? 3 weeks off? 4 weeks off?
Something like that, man.
Maybe we got
too
5
much.
weeks off.
Too much.
And it's too much, So we got to get this going. Maybe if you guys are lucky, we'll start doing some pick'ems for the preseason games this year, because that'll be awesome.
That'd be interesting.
And I think that's probably the best way I have a chance of winning this year. So that's really the important thing, is me coming out on top.
I still haven't made Rob his shirt yet either. Let's just not tell him about that.
Yeah, right. Hey, let's let him forget about it.
Let's see if he actually watches the podcast or not.
Yeah, right. Well, that's all I'll know. Rob, this is your thing. If you really want your shirt, you got to bring it up. You have 24 hours.
There we go. So for everyone out there, next week we will be going over I and another guest will be going over the top 5 defensive prospects. The following week, we will be doing our mock draft live on stream. And then we have the draft, so we'll be doing a post-draft review the following week after that. So we got 3 more weeks of NFL podcasts here on the effing title. But as always, Jeff, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you being here.
It's been great. Appreciate you having me. Love talking some football.
Always. So depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, stay out of trouble, stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.